Good morning, Flosstube. My name is Laura, and I'd like to welcome you to Stitching by the Shore, my channel all about cross stitch with some paper crafting thrown in too. If you are new, I want to say welcome. Thank you so much for pressing play and giving my channel a try. I hope you like what you see. Hit like, subscribe, and stick around for a while. And always, if you have questions, I will do my best to answer them. If you're a returning stitching friend, thank you so much for the time you spend with me. I so appreciate it. I've thought I have been so chatty with the last few videos, and I know with December there's so much going on, but I have so much good stuff to talk to you about, and I so enjoy talking to you. I feel like I'm just talking to friends and we're just chatting about stitching, so I just don't want it to end. So you'll just have to forgive me the long videos. I do have a lot to talk about today. I am super, super excited about all of it. I'm really enjoying this December. With all of the extra videos. There have been times in the past that I wasn't necessarily in the right headspace for the sheer number of videos, but this year I am all for it. I'm really loving it. I will say, because I go from video to video, I have been neglectful in commenting. So I do apologize for that, but I am watching and I am so enjoying all of the extra videos that people are putting out. Now, we have some things to talk about that do also kind of tie into the few extra videos that I've been doing. But first, yes, second week of Christmas sweaters. I mean, I only have so many, so you usually see the same ones from year to year. And then I have a whole bunch that are snowflakes and wintry. So I'm thinking I'm keeping those kind of for January and kind of the winter weather, because I think I can make my way sheer all the way through January if I don't wear some for my extra videos. Maybe I'll do that too. But we have a whole sweater full of trees. Yep, I thought I'd be nice and bright and festive today with this and have all of the different types of, they're beaded trees. So it kind of goes with the cross stitch and beading and all that. So that's the Christmas sweater for the week this week. Okay, so extra videos. I did 2 extra flossmus videos this week. Yes, I don't have the concept of like a 5-minute flossmus video down, but I just, again, have so much to talk about. I did a Stitch With Me on Wednesday, which I really enjoyed that with the Christmas this and that questions. If you get a chance to have a little half an hour stitching block, if you're doing 25/7, use me for that for one day. And I would love to know some of your answers too. It was a lot of fun. In fact, I did the quiz with Mo last night just to see what he would, of course, he was like this or that. Like I had to talk about all of the different answers and kind of qualify them. He was like, nope, this, nope, that, whatever. And then Monday, I did a trading card finishing video where I had 4 trading cards and I completely finished the last one just to show you my technique. Now, I only have 2 left of these 4 cards, so I just thought I'd show them real quick. If you want to know all of the details, so that was, you've watched me stitch that several times, and the 4 different colors of fabric. So we have left, what do we have? The green and the buttercream are left. If you want all of the details and everything I used for those, then just go check out my Flossmas video that says, I don't know, something about finishing a trading card, an ATC. So that video will be there. I don't need to go through it all again because there is somewhere you can see all that. But I had a lot of fun with these. I had a lot of fun bringing out the crystals again, because like I said, I have a whole bunch of those and they're just sitting there. So you might see more crystals on my trading cards in the future. I did finish a scrapbook page, and the scrapbook page is a small. I've been drawn to finishing the smalls lately, although I do have 1 or 2 bigger pieces that are set out. I just haven't gotten to finishing them. So this is in my, every time I say I'm going to measure this, right? And I never, do I have a ruler in there? Oh, I don't have one close enough. You'd see me fall off the chair. I want to say, I always call it an 8x6, but I think it's a 9 by something. So one of these days I will get that measured. But this week I did go with a Christmas piece, and that's my finish. Isn't that cute? So this is a pattern by the Housewives, Stitching with the Housewives. I can't remember. It's Santa and the cup, and there's the little reindeer in the cup. Now, I did not do whatever writing is in the cup. I just kept it a plain white mug. We actually do have just plain white coffee mugs, so that kind of goes with what we have. And I did it on, I know it's a Bestitchme. I don't know if it's sea glass. I don't know. I could go back if you were interested in me finding out. I'm not 100% sure. I stitched this quite a long time ago, and then it just sat in the box. And I said, well, let's finish it into a scrapbook page. So very simple. It's got the interfacing on the back of it. I have and this is cardstock, just red cardstock, and this is pattern paper. If you look close, there is a small little design on it, but it's really tough to see. And it's a pattern paper that is not a flimsy one, so it can hold up quite easily this way. And then what I did was I decided I didn't want it completely even corner to corner, so I made it closer to this corner. There's a little extra green here, and then I threw on some washi tape, and that is Doodlebug is the brand. Doodlebug is a company that usually has a little bit cuter and more whimsical sort of items than more of your serious items. So if you want things that are a little bit kind of cuter, and in some cases I do like that for what I'm doing, but I'm sure it's a candy cane stripe thing. I'm sure a lot of companies have that design as well. But now he can go into my scrapbook and he is good to go. So that's my scrapbook page. And then I did an ornament. I did everything: trading card, scrapbook page, and ornament this week. I saved this for last because it is my favorite. Oh, ouch, sorry. I forgot I had my reading glasses here because sometimes I have trouble reading what I'm seeing. And so I'm trying this new, and I have a couple of my DMC drawers out and the glasses just sitting on it. And of course I just whacked the drawer because I forgot it was there. There's always a good laugh at some point when you watch my videos, and it's usually at me, which I'm okay with. I have no problem with that. Alrighty, so the last of my little extra pieces that I did. So the ATCs had their own flossmus video. The scrapbook page did not. So if you have any questions, I don't have materials listed anywhere. I'd be happy to give you any information about any of the materials. So feel free to reach out about that. This also does not have its own video. I finished this week. It is my favorite ornament so far, partly because of, you'll see what's on it, and I just think it's adorable. So there it is. This is my newest Christmas ornament that will go on my crafty tree. This one could go on my Hirschner's tree, but it's a tiny bit bigger than a lot of the ones on the Hirschner's, and I think it would look good on the regular tree because I have probably 8 or 9 on the Hirschner's tree. I need some on the regular tree. I only have my 2 Santas as cross stitch on my crafty tree, and then a bunch of other crafts. So I've got to add some cross stitch to it. So here he is. This pattern was I think it still is, a freebie from Stitching with the Housewives, but it's called Chicken Joy because there was a chicken here, and there was a chicken holding onto the lights. I don't really stitch chickens. It's just not my thing. I mean, I know they're cute and everything, but it's just not my thing. So I had seen on the Housewives page back, and this was probably what, a couple years ago, because I actually stitched it in the black. I'm not sure I would stitch it in black again if I was to do it, although it does, because it's my little shamrock, he does kind of jump out on the black. On their page, it probably might be a couple years ago, you might be able to search Chicken Joy and then examples might show up. A bunch of people had switched it for their own animals, and there was different types of dogs. And I want to say that somebody had linked this little dog. It's a freebie somewhere on Pinterest. I'm not really sure. But I grabbed it. And as far as I could tell, it wasn't just like linked to Pinterest. It actually was linked to a different site that, as far as I could tell, they were legit freebies. But I just don't remember where or how. I don't think I have it anymore. But I bet you if you search, you could find it. So anyway, I knew I wanted that because that was my little shamrock. So I changed that. Obviously, it's not a chicken. And then I used all DMC. And then for the string of lights, they have different colors. I just did red. Now, if I was to do it again now, I would probably use a toile or something sparkly for the lights. But I didn't have that knowledge back then of those. I didn't know about a toile, so. And even the star would be kind of cute in a toile. But that was earlier in my stitching comeback, so to speak. So, and I have to say, black, the thing about the black is it's hard to finish. It's thicker. It just no way around it. So I think I did pretty good on my corners. They could be a tiny bit tighter, but honestly, again, I'm not going to be looking at it that close, so I'm fine with it. But it definitely gave me a little extra work to attach the corners, and I even cut off, when I fold over, I cut off excessive fabric, and it was an issue. But anyway, so it's folded onto the comic book board, and then what I did, instead of attaching the cardstock, this is actually just 2 pieces of cardstock. What I did was I die cut it. I had a die cut, which was a scallop square. It might be the same scallop square you saw. No, I think it's the next size up. It's bigger than the one I showed you with my Santa ornament, because this guy was a little bit too big for that. So it's a size or 2 bigger. So sometimes with these things like the scallop designs or just straight edge or designs, they're all from Spellbinders, I believe. And what you'll do is you get a set of, say, 6, but they're graduated sizes. So that's what I have, and there might be 2 sets and they kind of stagger. I'm not 100% sure. I've had those for a long time. I would have bought them for my card making in all the different sizes because it'd be perfect for that. But anyway, so those are 2, I die cut it twice with some deep red cardstock, and I just attached the 2 together, and I attached the stitch piece to that, and then I just put some felt, black felt, on the back after I put my hanger on there. So it doesn't, again, have to be super elaborate, but I think with the scallop and then the small little rickrack, it's kind of makes it a little fancy. This is fancy for me. I'm not gonna lie, this is fancy for me. So it made it fancy enough that I really love it. So I had it on the tree, and I have it front and center so that when I walk by it, I'll see it. But then I took it off because I said I'm gonna forget to show it to y'all. So now that I've shown it, it's going right back on the tree after this video. So if you have any questions, I'll do my best to help to answer them. If I can ever find that post, I'd be happy to try to direct you. But my guess would, if you search Chicken Joy in the Stitching with the Housewives Facebook page, you might be able to come up with, and you could even use, I mean, I know that they've recharted dogs for Kimberly Jolly for Fat Quarter Shop. So there, I'm sure in some of their patterns, there might be something that would work like that. I had to rechart in my mind how I wanted the lights, because obviously the way the chicken was holding it, he'd be taller than the dog. So that was just something to think about as well. All right, so that's all. Oh, one other thing before I get started with my stitches, my current projects. I just yesterday, I think it was yesterday, Markup RXP gave their new update. So they had it with beta testers for about 2 weeks, and this is their big giant new update. I don't have it yet. They're rolling it out within a week's time to everybody who has Markup RXP. This update includes the ability to make a multi-page pattern 1 page. I have been waiting for that, and I haven't really used it yet because I wanted that feature. So I'm super excited. Like I said, I checked this morning. I still have an old version, and my app store is not giving me the option to update. It just says open, and then I have the old version. So I am patiently waiting. But if you have Markup RXP and you're not on their Facebook page, because they are answering questions when people are having problems, that's where I saw it. But go check your version. I think it's version 8 or 0.8 or something with an 8 is the brand new version. So I just wanted to mention that as well. For those of you who might be using it or waiting on it because you don't want to buy a new device for Pattern Keeper. Okay, now we can get to my stitching. Oh, that was a lot of before. I was worried this was gonna be a long video. So I hope you're settled in. I hope you have a nice, good project. And I have my cranberry hibiscus because that's my latest. I absolutely have to have every single day. I have a cup of that, and it's a limited edition, so I bought extra already so I can get through the year with it. Okay, but enough rambling about my tea. My very first piece, I know it's not Christmassy, but I pulled it out for a specific reason. So it's my November Gnome. So these are the set of 3 from Wonderland, Ukraine. I had told you that I had joined the magazine monthly challenge, and each month they do a theme for the month, which they like you to have something magazine-like for the theme at least, and then they have an acrostic, and there they encourage really anything, whether it's magazine pieces or regular designs that aren't magazine pieces. They're very flexible and lovely. I kind of cheated, and I'm thinking my Razzle Dazzle, which is the theme this month, are my finishes. This is a magazine stitch, and then I made them sparkly with the crystals and the mist and all of that. So that's my Razzle Dazzle. And then the acrostic was Twinkle. Now, this is my very first month with them. I only have like 4 letters figured out. That might be all I have, but I figure it's a start. So for W, I picked Wonderland, Ukraine, and I'm gonna go to the one I am stitching. This is the November guy. So I pulled him out so that I would, whoa, I have no idea what happened there. I pulled him out so that would work on the W from the word twinkle. And I even this month, I'm not necessarily setting myself specific goals because I don't know what I want to do. I generally try to give pieces 500 stitches, 300 to 500 stitches when you see them anyway. So I have to figure out what might work for a monthly sort of acrostic. But there he is. So this is the full piece of fabric, what it's going to look like. And let me bring it in for a sec. Now, this is 18 count Buttercream from To Die For Fabrics. And I had quite a bit on this side of the hat to do. And then I did some more flowers or leaves, I guess. It's more of a leaf. Yes, it's a leaf because you're not going to be able to see very well, but I did start the flower here. It is some of the pieces or colors of floss, I should say, match my fabric, but that is completely surrounded by either hat or leaves or in a few cases some berries. So it will pop, which, you know, I'm excited about. It's not going to be faded in, even though you can't see it now. So some of my work you can't quite see. And then just continuing down here. So this poor guy though, I did give him 500 stitches. Actually, he got more than 500. So he might go away now at this point. I was looking at the gnomes, and I did buy over their recent sales. I bought the Christmas ones, so that's what they look like. But we're really close to Christmas, so I'm not necessarily sure, and I love the colors and the design. My favorite of the 3 is this one. So my guess is when they do get stitched, this is the first one I attempt. I'm not sure on any of these that I'll ever do all 3, but I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at the green hat. That one's kind of cute too, to be honest with you. Anyway, so I think that the Christmas ones are gonna wait till next year. If and when I do another set, which I do enjoy having these going. They're really beautiful. The colors of shading that the designer does is fantastic. I did buy the winter ones. Look at how pretty those are. I love those blues. You know me and blue. I don't know what fabric I'd do it on. I'm not necessarily sure I would. A lot of times I use their background black as a guide. I don't know if I'd use that color. I'd have to really think about what I want. A sparkle would be nice, and opal would be really nice. So I think that come January, I might start one of these guys. Whichever one, I'm not sure yet. I find them all pretty in different ways with the different colors. So we'll see. If you have suggestions on what color fabric you think they'd look nice on, send me a suggestion. I'm not sure. And sometimes I find my brain, I love choosing different types of fabric, you know that, but my brain, and I don't know right now if it's just because there's so much going on, is kind of taking a kind of a strike almost with that. And so I'm not necessarily seeing things as clearly color-wise as I would normally with some of the fabrics. So I'm always open to suggestions. You all have some great ideas, so I would love to hear what you think. So November Gnome, he's going away at this point, and I will start to think about which one of these I might want to do and figure out the fabric. That's my sticking point at the moment. So that could get started before the new year. And that would still go under, my W was for Wonderland Ukraine, so I could do any piece from them, I guess, especially if I do X amount of stitches on each one. All right, this is my next one, and I have been choosing to do this weekly, at least through the end of the year or through Christmas. We'll see that final week of the year. If I'm really close to potentially finishing it, maybe I'll do a push on this one. So it's just, oh, it's Christmas Tree Farm. I wasn't sure if it was called Tree Farm or Christmas. So it's Christmas Tree Farm. It's by the Prairie Schooler. I am not stitching the border, the moon, the stars. I am using the colors that are given. And there we go. Now, I don't know if you can tell, this is done on an opal. It's a white opal, 18 count. And this week I concentrated down here. So I got the little bunny, and I got, this tree was big, and I got this tree, and I think I did a whole bunch, and I had to finish a few others. So there is a teeny tiny tree. Where is it? It's next to, it's between these two. It's a teeny tiny tree. But if you, that won't take me long. That'll be my next focus today. If you think about that though, that side is completely done. So I am now over on this side. So if I continue to pick pieces, 2, maybe 3 pieces. What's today? Today is the, I'm looking at my iPad. Today is the 9th. What would that give me? Well, 2 weeks to, oh, 2 weeks to Christmas. Wow. So 2 weeks. Yeah. Christmas is 2 weeks this coming weekend. I have at least 2 weeks worth. We'll see what happens. What do you think? Think I can do it? We'll see. Because I'm not doing the border, that's a little extra that I'm not doing. And the trees go fast-ish. I mean, as fast as you're going to go. So maybe. So you will see this next week. And like I said, I'll do the teeny tiny tree, and then we'll see what else I want to do. Gotta come back next week. All right. So this week I had 3 more days of my full coverage in that rotation. I didn't stitch any full coverage on Friday. So when I do my 10 days, it is 10 actual stitching days, not 10 calendar days. So this did go until Monday, I think. I switched my pieces out on Tuesday. You know what? I'm just going to leave it folded because you don't need to see the bottom half. I haven't gotten that far yet. Here we go. Okay, so let's go back here. Mini Paris Morning. And this is 18 count white Aida, 2 strands over 1 full cross. The artwork is, it's charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, and the artwork is by Uliana Babenko. And let me show you the piece first, right? I mean, some of you know it because you saw it last week, but if you're new, here it is. I love it. I love the kind of the whimsical nature of it. I love the colors. And of course, the little dog. So, getting back to it now, what did I do? I'm going to fold it in half for a minute because I worked on both sides. You know I can't settle on just one section. I am hopeless trying to do like a full block of something. I just can't do it. I did work my way through confetti on this curtain on this side. So until you come down here, this is completely done. The confetti is all done on that. Well, maybe a few in the actual edge here. I don't know if I could decide whether it was part of the greens and the window or the door reflection or if it was part of that. But for the most part, it's completely done. Then I really wanted to do more pinks. And sometimes if I had a symbol that was here, I went on this side. I did quite a bit here, filling in all of that and working some more pink because I was in a pink mood this week. And I did periodically do some more of the blues because there's a big stretch of blue. So I really needed to get that done too. So as you can see, all 3 parts did get some work. And I'm super excited. It is going away now. It did go away because I have a new one to show you this week. But I'm enjoying it. And I'm really still enjoying my 10-week rotation. I think that's really working well for me. So as of now, we're keeping that. All right, next. Next is a new start that I did. I talked to you in the end of November about wanting to work on all of these. And so I pulled out December's Holly. And this is from Cottage Garden Samplings. And I did change the color of fabric. It looks really pretty on this color. but I decided I wanted to make it more Christmassy-ish for me, or I shouldn't even say that, December. Because it's not really Christmas. I mean, the holly, obviously, but that's December-ish. So I went with Honeydew Melon, 18 count from To Die For fabrics. Now, the one thing I think I might work on, so I got this whole corner. I started a few of the letters. Letters will go quick. And a little bit of the border. The white is not B5200. I can't remember what it is. When I get to the snowman, I might actually go B5200 to make it a little bit brighter against this, because in person I can see it, but it's subtle. And for a border, I want the border. I don't want the border to be in my face. But when I get to the snowman, I do want him to pop out a bit more. I also thought about adding maybe some étoile to make him sparkle a little bit. I don't know. It's going to be a ways till I get to that part. I love the huge section of holly over here, though. The greens and the reds are beautiful. And I think, as you can see from that corner, they're really going to pop on that. So super excited to get this one started. We'll see how much I get done in December. You know, if I work on these next year, they can certainly be a piece that I can work on each month with the given month. Again, the biggest thing will be trying to figure out what fabric colors I want to use. But I like it. I like this. I'm keeping all of the called for colors, except, like I said, potentially the white on the snowman. I might go a little bit brighter on that one. So Christmas Tree Farm is every week for me right now, so I'm not sure this one will be every week, but I will pull it out at least once more before the end of the month. And then I'm looking towards next year. One of my Flossmas videos, I would like to do some sort of planning video, but my plans are still very scattered. I have ideas in my head of things I want to do, but I don't have anything completely set. And I might have the patterns, but I'm not sure I'll have fabric for everything. I was watching Beth, the steadfast stitcher, a couple weeks ago, and she is doing 60 for 60 because she's hitting a milestone birthday, so she's doing 60 starts. And she had fabric for all of those, and I was so impressed because that's a lot of work to figure all those colors that you want to stitch all those patterns on. It's really fun. She's got a lot of great eclectic different patterns and pieces. I really enjoyed it. And there's some that I might jump in on with her because I really like them. So if you haven't watched that video, it's a lot of fun and it's really cool to see what she'll be stitching next year. So I'll link her down below. You know, in the description box. As usual, I talk about all of my projects. And then if you keep scrolling, if I've mentioned some Flosstubers, I do link their channel. So just look down there. I don't, unless it's a specific video that may have a tutorial or some specific information, I don't generally link a specific video. I just link their channel itself. And then you can just have some fun scrolling through. Okay, so I had finished my 25/7 last week. And so I needed a new one. And I thought about it for a few days. So I didn't do, a couple days I didn't do my 25/7, but it's not like that's the only stitching I do in a day. So it was all right. And I went through my patterns and I thought about what I wanted to get pushed for finish, because I will stitch this till it's finished. And it was kind of just sitting there and languishing, and it needed that extra attention every day. And the one I pulled out was the Nubble. And this is from is it By the Bay? Yes, By the Bay Needleart. I've talked about Nubble Lighthouse and the memories we have there with our yearly summers in Maine. Almost yearly. There was a few years we didn't, but for the most part we did. And every year we would go and the kids would play on the rocks and the whole thing. So I knew I wanted to stitch this when I saw it, and I had started it, and then I stopped. Part of it was the pattern itself. You'll see there's a bunch of different colors here. Well, those symbols are very, very similar. So you really have to, each and every stitch, you have to pay attention to which symbol it is. And that kind of turned me off a little bit of working on this pattern. And so it sat and sat and sat for quite some time. Every once in a while I'd pick it up, but this is dense, and you're going to see I still have quite a bit to do, and I gave it 25/7 for almost a full week. There's a lot of stitching here. This is a small piece. It'll probably be a 3x5, to be honest with you, how I'm stitching it. So it's not big, but it's solid. And because I kind of, I had that mental space where I just wasn't looking forward to that, I put it aside. So I said 25/7 is perfect because I can concentrate for just a little bit of time and find a symbol and just work on that. And that's what I've been doing. So here we go. This is just 18 count white aida. I started this back when I wasn't necessarily really jumping into tons of different colors. In hindsight, it might have been done probably maybe on a lighter blue, just to kind of mimic kind of like a blue sky, but it's fine. I still like it. And I jumped from, so at this point, this part was all done up here, except there's a little bit up here I have to do. It's all down here that I have to do. And again, there's a lot of different changes in symbols and colors. So it's going a little slow, but the 25/7 is perfect for this. I think this is going to take me a few more weeks of 25/7 though, because I'll stitch it for my allotted amount of time. Then I'll look and I'll say, that's it. That's all I did. So this does have some time to go yet. I thought about, so here it looks cute in a frame, but I'm not sure I want to do that because we have so many great pictures of vacations there. I thought this would be great in a scrapbook and kind of make it multimedia, right? So we'll have cross stitching, multi-crafting, I guess. We'll have pictures and paper crafting with the scrapbook. I thought that would be really cute. I was thinking of making this a 2-page 12x12 spread, but I think I would want another angle or another stitch of Nubble. So if you've ever seen any, let me know. Just send me in the direction. You don't have to send me a link. That's a lot of work. I understand that. But if you've seen something somewhere and you kind of know the direction to send me in, I would love to see that because I would love to maybe have one stitch on one page, one on another, and then have pictures all intermingled and have it, when you open up the 12x12, it'd be a left and right page. I thought that would be a lot of fun. So let me know if you have any ideas on that one. But that one will get stitched 25/7 until it's finished. I think I can get it done by the end of the year, but it's going to take a bit because there's a lot of stitching there. Oh, and let me put this with that. Okay, next. You saw some of this if you watched my Stitch With Me video, but then I kept stitching on it, so I have more to show you. It's my Jardin Prive Summer Quaker. And I didn't get as well, it was a half an hour, so I thought I might get some more. I'm busy chatting too, so that of course slowed down my stitching. But let me show you what I do have and where we are. So there it is. This is an 18 count My Sunshine from Bestitchme. Let me show. I don't think it's a full half, so I'll just do it up close like this rather than folding it. I finished out this box. I had most of the outer border done before I did the Stitch With Me. I did the entire inner border and I finished the outer border, I believe. Either that or I did the final finishing touches afterwards. Then I had just half of a little bit of this done. So I did quite a bit of that next symbol. Let me show you. That's the symbol here. Now this symbol does have 2022, and then the autumn one has also 2022. So spring and winter do not have dates, but the two middle pieces, because you'll see here how she's got them set, all four. So my thought is I would like to get I'd like to stitch this again this year before we end 2022 and put 2022 in this one to symbolize that I stitched some of these in 2022. And then when I stitch the autumn one, I will put the 2023 date to symbolize the 2 years that I've been working on this, this whole project, because I want to stitch all four. They're all done in DMC 823, or they will be, with 4 different colors of fabric to symbolize the seasons, along with obviously the symbols there. So that's my goal. So I really wanted to get some of this done, and then the date jumps off of this middle piece. So that's why I started that. But this one was frustrating. I'm going to blame Christian and Derek. I was watching Fortnite Fabrics, their latest update, and I messed up my counting so bad. I'm going to blame them and say their video was so interesting to watch that I couldn't count. I had somewhere right up here, I had made a mistake in counting, and I had stitched all the way down. I was almost at this very last bit. And for some reason, I decided, let me just make sure everything matches up. And it didn't. And this is very even each side. I just didn't feel like I could fudge that. So then I had to take all of that out, and then I restitched it very, very carefully. And there is, in the pattern, there is one little stitch missing, because both sides should be equal up top, and there was one stitch missing. I don't know if that's what threw me off. I don't think so. I think it was just me making assumptions or just not counting right up top here. So I noticed that when I was redoing it, and I fixed it. If you're stitching this and you want to know where it is, let me know, and I can try to point out to you. And then I realized this side is wrong somewhere down here. So I have to pull a little bit of this out. I'm going to be really happy when that symbol is done. I don't usually have, well, I shouldn't say that. I do have counting issues. Lady Halloween has 2 or 3. But given the nature of what I messed up on, I was able to kind of finagle it, and I didn't have to worry about it. But this being a very specific shape and everything symmetrical and lining up, I didn't feel comfortable leaving it. Plus, honestly, the amount of time it would have taken me to count and finagle and figure it out, I could have just frogged it. So that's what I did. I pulled it out. I said, you know what? Sometimes you have to think about where your time, how much time you're doing one thing versus another. And I decided in the end, I'd rather do this, because I then, you know, if I'd fudged it, I wouldn't have known. What if I hated it when it was done? Then I had to pull it all out anyway. So this will get at least one more session this year so that I can put the date in. And like I mentioned in my Stitch With Me, December 21st is when the final one will come out. So I'm looking forward to that. All right, the next one. The next one I need a little bit of your help with, because I'm not sure. I know how I should do the extra, but I'm not sure how to do it given I'm using the Aida. So I stitched for Mo this. We don't really exchange gifts. You know, we generally know what we want at any given time or whatever, like say for the holidays, and what do you want? You know what I mean? And he'll figure it out and usually order it. I do the same thing. So we don't generally exchange so much. We might like go out to dinner and have a date night. That's kind of what we kind of do. But I thought this would be cute. It's an ornament. It's not going to take me that long to stitch. It'll be cute. It'll go on my crafting tree, so it'll be fun to have something that would have stitched for him on there. So I stitched this little guy. It's the Christmas version of the sea, or holiday version, I should say, of the sea otter. And this is from, you know what, and I have to look, LaSelva Design on Etsy. When you look down below, I will link the Etsy shop. They have a lot of little animals. So if you knew somebody who liked a specific animal, I would check there, especially if you wanted to make them an ornament. They don't all have the holiday version. Some of them, quite a few do. But even if you did a non-holiday, you could just jazz it up with holiday colors, right? So I will link them. Here, let me show you what I've done. I'll show you what I didn't do, and then I need your advice. So here I am. So technically, it's just about finished except for a backstitch. This is done on an 18 count Tropic Night from To Die For Fabrics. I love this color. I use this. I knew I wanted some sort of blue. Now, the picture I'll show you is a little bit more greenish blue. I thought this was kind of nice, you know, with the really kind of blue tones for like deep blue water. And I used all of the called for with it. Now the only thing, so the stitches are done. The only thing I didn't do is the back stitch for the whiskers. So I want to show you the piece on the iPad because it's tough to see the whiskers on the printed. I have a black and white printed piece. So this is the pattern. So you can see where the whiskers are. And yes, the whiskers are cute. And I did start trying to do them. The problem is that it's funny because it gives you the information for when stitched on 14 count aida, but the whiskers are charted such that you really almost need a 28, 32, 36, etc., because it's in the middle of a hole on aida, every single one. So it's hard to see there, but you know, obviously you have to go up and down. You're not going to get that type of look without, you know, going in and out of certain holes. Every single one on the chart is either smack dab in the middle or on one of the edges in the middle. So where there'd be, if you did on a higher count, you know, you'd have that extra hole if you were doing it over 2. So my question is, can I keep it like this? Does it look like a sea otter this way? Does it absolutely need the whiskers? Because that's obviously the easiest thing, right? I can just keep it like that. I don't mind attempting to do the back stitch. It's cute with the back stitch, but how do I do it? Because I did attempt to do some already, and you know how it is, piercing aida. Okay, yes, I can get a little bit of a sharper needle. I can't tell you on this hand how many times I think it's this finger, I've put the needle through the top of my skin multiple times. So if I have a sharper needle, well, we'll see what happens with that. But I could try that. But there's a lot of different colors here, so there's a lot of floss back there. So not only are you piercing the aida, you've got to work your way through all those colors of floss. So do I attempt it? How do I do it? I could attempt to re-chart everything over slightly. That's a lot of work again. Does the extra work make it that much better? And if you say yes, it will, okay. Enough of you, if you say yes, it will. Then I'm not afraid of doing the work. It's just, is it the best way to spend my time? So I need your advice with this one, please. So let me know what you think, because I really don't know what to do about this one. And I was thinking of doing a teeny tiny hoop finish on this guy. I thought that'd be kind of cute, like a 3-inch hoop. We'll see. I don't know yet. It's whether or not, I don't know if you remembered when I finished that piece for Connor, I had gotten from Etsy the stained wood, and it's the same company. They go as low as 3-inch hoops. So I was thinking of getting a stained hoop piece for that. I don't know what color stain I would do. Whether or not I'd have it for Christmas is the issue. I have just no desire to either A, stain a hoop, B, wrap ribbon around a hoop, or C, keep it. I don't think I'd like it kept completely plain. So I'm just not sure I want to put in the extra work of, rather than, you know, in this case, I would pay somebody from Etsy who does it regularly. I know that the quality was good. I really enjoyed the first one, so I know that money would be well spent. And it's a gift for somebody. So, we'll see. But that's neither here nor there. I need to figure out the whisker part, so please let me know. Okay, here we go. This actually was pulled out for the K of the word twinkle on the magazine monthly challenge, and it is my Kringles from Little House Needleworks. Just a reminder, I'm only doing 2 stories, not 3. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix and match pieces from some of these. I like this clock, I love right in the center, so that'll be as is. But then I don't know where some other stuff will go and which pieces I'll pick. And what I might do is take some of one, and because I would keep the chandeliers, but maybe I take some of the pieces from other and put it underneath. I don't know yet. I have to finish the structure first. Here we are. I'm getting there. So I did nothing on the top, so let me fold it over. I really focused on this centerpiece right here. So getting the lanterns in, getting both the little sort of deer images in. I still have steps to do here. I haven't finished that yet. I did a bunch up there. This is 18 count Artemis from Bestitchme. So it's a fun gray. So that's really what I focused on. There's a bunch of little changes and things here and there, so it takes a little bit longer than if I was just straight stitching this part. I still have one more to do here. But then that's the only part of the structure that's really undone. And so we're getting there. And now, you know, the counting will be a little bit easier because I have a reference point. This one was a little, whichever one I went down first. I was a little nervous. I kept counting and counting. But now I at least have a reference point that I can go off of. So like I said, not this Christmas, but I don't think it's completely out of the realm of possibility for next Christmas. And my last piece was the next full coverage that I pulled out for my next 10-day rotation. And there we go. I pulled out Mini Peridot. This hadn't seen some work in a while because I was really enjoying the bright colors. And this one, so it looks brighter on the mock-up here. And I'm curious to see what colors her wings and her dress will be, because these are definitely deeper, darker colors than what you might see here. It's not like I don't like it, I do, but if I'm really looking for something bright and just colorful to work on, this is not necessarily the one I pull out. This is Heaven and Earth Designs, and the artwork is by Rachel Anderson. And some of these, and I'm sure you could request if one isn't, there are several of these that don't have the background. People have requested them without the background. So if you just wanted to stitch her, that is an option for quite a few of them, and I'm sure you could just request it for one that might not be done yet. So here I am. Let me just fold this over. 18 count white aida, like my last one, 2 strands over 1 full cross. And what I did this time was, so I'd only had 3 days worth. So I do 100-ish, sometimes a little bit more, maybe slightly less, but around 100 a day. So it's only had like 300 stitches so far. And I kind of thoughtfully tried to think about starting to pick, because these symbols are in a bunch of different places, because this top here repeats over here. I picked a different symbol that's confetti here. And in some cases I was able to work more here, or I'll bring it over this way. So I'm trying to thoughtfully just pick and choose and pick out different places where I can add, you know, a little extra to here, but then where it can go elsewhere to kind of fill in. So I did get some work across this way. I definitely got some work down here. And then I am starting to have less open spaces here. I mean, there's still quite a bit yet to go. That obviously goes a lot slower. So if I give this, say, an hour, hour and a half, I mean, I can get, in an hour, I can get 100 stitches if it's just blocks of color. In fact, I can usually get a little bit more than that. But when I'm picking and choosing, to get 100, it does take me a little bit longer than the hour. So it just depends on how much time I have on a given day or what I feel like stitching. So this still will have 7 more stitching days to it. So we'll see what I can get finished. If I stitch on it every day between now and next Friday, if I see you next Friday, I hope to. I don't think the schedule is going to be crazy yet then. That will be the end of its rotation, because I think if I stitch on it every day for the rest of its rotation, the last day would be Thursday. So we'll see. And that's the stitching for this week. We're going over an hour. We're going over an hour. I hope not too much, because I don't have a lot of light stuff going on right now. So that should be, and there's very light really on the shopping. So, all right. Last week I didn't show you this, and I said, if I wait till I have a less than an hour video, I'll never show you this, right? And this is a holiday one. It's not going to get done for this holiday, but I wanted your opinion on it as I look towards next year and my goals. So I started this. Now this was started before I would have been doing Flosstubes. So this was started at the end of 2019 would be my guess, because I started Flosstubes in February of 2020. And this was before I was doing any fabrics but a few different colors of Zweigarts from 1, 2, 3 Stitch. So I hadn't really discovered that whole little rabbit hole to go down. So that's part of my question. It actually, I really enjoy looking at it more of what I've stitched than necessarily this picture. It's from So it's from Raise the Roof Designs. It's called Christmas Land. And it's just a little quirky, whimsical sort of picture. I want to say, I don't know, it's a type of gray. I'm going to fold it over because I only have half, not even half. I only have one section done. This is all I have done. Now, let me fold it, fold it for a second. This was up here, didn't get an iron. Would you believe when I was ironing Christmas Sea Otter, that's when Mo decided to walk in. I had to quickly like do the picture and throw it because I didn't want him to see it. I suspect he might have seen it. It was on the front. There was something about an otter on the laptop right before I tried to get it off. So I think he might have seen something about otter. So he might know something's coming, but I'm going to pretend he doesn't. So, but of all the times, he of course has the impeccable timing of walking in just as I'm ironing that one. Anyway, so this is the whole piece. Now going forward, I'm not sure that this color really brings it out as much as I want. So that's the full piece right there, okay? And what the color will be. I haven't committed that much time to this, so I'm not adverse to restitching it and starting over. Look at how much I've done on my Christmas. There was a lot more done on that and I started it over. So what are your thoughts? I think it's cute in person. So I would like to continue stitching it, but I'm not sure I want to continue stitching it on this color. So I have two questions. One, do you like it on this color? And I know that's very subjective. 10 different people will have 10 variations of an answer. I know it's only a yes or no, but you know what I mean. And if you think there would be a better choice of color, tell me what to look for. And tell me what you think. The white does pop up on this color nicely. I might continue with this one. I'm just not sure. I kind of want your opinions with it. And I want to make sure I measured this right because again, this was back early on. So hopefully I didn't mess up that. Before I do any more stitching, I am going to check that. And I would like to put this, I think I might have picked this up once since I've started it. I was pulling out like, I think it was 1 month, I was pulling out old projects and I think this one got pulled out and it got a little bit of stitching, but in the course of a few years, it's just been sitting there. And I think it's really cute and I like the whimsical nature of it, but I'm not sure what to do. So I need your help with that. So any suggestions or opinions are always welcome. Which way I go, I don't know, but I would love to hear your thoughts on that. So that was the one thing I wanted to ask you about that I didn't do last week. Other than that, so that was in my plan section. Other than that, I do want to try to do a finishing weekend of ornaments this weekend. I probably have 5 to 8 at least that I have stitched that need to be finished. And I would like to, at some point I'd like to show you my crafty tree, but it needs more cross stitch on there. So I need to do some finishes. So that's hopefully maybe on the agenda this weekend. I have no idea, excuse me, what we're doing this weekend. So that's a possibility. All right. That's all I have on the plan section though, besides obviously my full coverage, my 25/7, and my tree farm. So for somebody who doesn't plan, I have certain things that I do every week anyway, right? All right, happy mail. A couple things to show you. I wanted to show you this adorable, because I can't wait to show, put it up, Christmas card from Kathleen. Thank you so much for the wonderful card and the note and the, I'm already using the cute little thing that you sent in there too. So, it's already being put to use. So thank you for that. But I love this. Super, super cute. And I am going to put it up with my Christmas cards. I love Christmas cards. We're in the, do I want to get into it? We're at that stage. Every year we used to do, because you know, I'm just going to talk. Every year we used to do pictures of the kids and that was our Christmas card, right? You know, we do the photo cards. Well, the kids are older. We don't have as many pictures. Over Thanksgiving, we actually just enjoyed being around each other. I don't think I have any pictures. And that's generally when I would take a picture now because, you know, they're not home. Last year, we didn't have any pictures of the kids because Connor wasn't feeling great last Thanksgiving. So I only had some of Megan. so we did Shamrock, and Shamrock was our Christmas card last year, and we dressed him up in some sort of hat thing and took a different sim. But obviously, sadly, we don't have Shamrock in our lives anymore, so we don't have the chance to take some pictures of him and have him be on our card. So we are in that transitional phase. I'm not sure what to do. For the general people that we would normally send cards to, I wouldn't generally make cards because they take a lot of time. And again, like many handcrafted items, they're just not appreciated as such. So I don't know whether or not just to send kind of generic cards. I know the last couple of years, because there's a lot of our friends that are in that same boat and people just weren't sending Christmas cards. But I love getting mail, so I think other people like getting mail. That's my thought, at least. So, I'm not necessarily ready to give up sending out cards, but we're in that kind of weird in-between period in our lives, so I'm not sure what I'm doing. If you've been through that, tell me what you did and how you transitioned and what your choices were with that. There's always transitions in life, isn't there? At any age, really. Okay, and then Sally had a couple of double patterns that she sent them to me, and I didn't take them out. Just real quick, we have the abominable bundle. That's one of those words that's fun but difficult to say. And then Stranded Jacks, and I love the whale, the guy on the whale. That's my favorite. And Sally, I sent you a message on Instagram, so let's talk. Thank you very much, but let's also talk. We have things to talk about. All right, that's it. Now shopping, I really don't have much to show you. The one thing I did want to show you though, I don't know if any of you are watching Georgia Girl Stitching. She's been doing some floss tubes, and she's a designer. She has her designs on Gumroad, and I wanted to show you, I did pick this up. So she had designed, look at all these different paws with different colors. And she showed it stitched up in one of her flossmuses. I, of course, am going to stitch, and this is the one she stitched, was the green, because that's kind of the color with their dog Tank that they, kind of dress him in. For Shamrock, obviously, I want to do it in the green plaid. I think I will make the heart red, though. And I thought it'd be cute to make it as an ornament, and I might make a couple extra so that each kid will have that ornament going forward for their lives, or however they want to use it. So I'd have to stitch it, but it's small, so I'd have to stitch it 3 times. After a request, she did do horseshoes. So if that's something you're interested in, there is that. And then she recently, this was another one that she had stitched. I don't have this one yet, but I do want to pick that one up. Another one I think would be super cute as an ornament. And I would do, of course, the green plaid. So I will link her Gumroad below. She has some really cute patterns. She has some color conversions here. So she's got a color conversion for Autumn Harvest. She's got another one for a beach color conversion she did on a pattern, which is beautiful. She's got some nautical and so on and so forth, and some other patterns. So it's a lot of fun to look at her stuff. I will link her down below. And if you're not watching her Flosstube/Flossmus, she's such a lovely person to watch and listen to. And I really enjoy her videos. So I will link her below if you have not watched anything from her yet. All right, so that's really it for the shopping. So see, look, we're gaining time here because I don't have a lot to show you when it comes to that. All right, I do giveaways. Let's just get going with the giveaways. Okay, yes, I am juggling stuff here, and I almost forgot to do a giveaway this morning. I was sitting down, I was ready to go, I was going through my list, and I was like, wait a minute, there's nothing listed under the giveaway section. I do want to do a reminder for Patchy Pony, Mel. You were the next name that I picked for this first frost, so one more week. I would love to send this over to you. So just give me your address. I don't think I've ever sent anything to you, so I don't have anything, but I would love to send it on its way to you. So reach out to me, and if I don't hear next week, I'll pull a new name. Alrighty, so that's that, and I will put that over here so I know I don't lose it. Okay, next, this week's video for the giveaway. I had talked about this. This is the December Cottage of the Month from Cottage Needleworks. And I talked about, and I have this, I want to show you. I stitched this. I'm not done yet with all 12. That's got to be a goal for next year because I only have 3 months left. This is supposed to be a gift for my mother. If I don't get them done, I can't gift them to her. Thank goodness I haven't told her about them. But, so this is the December one, completely fully finished. I have a piece that has like a clip, kind of like a picture framey sort of thing. And so that's why there's a little extra space up here. I left room for the clip and she could just change them in and out with a clip. It's just kind of like a white framey sort of piece. So that's fully stitched. And what I was saying, and I think I still have this pattern. I'm almost sure I do. I would love to stitch that house on its own with or without a tree and make it an ornament. I think that would be adorable. So that is an option for you. So I asked you to say the word cottage. And then I've got twice, if I do that, then I've gotten twice as much out of that pattern because I'll stitch the hole and I'll stitch it a second time with little pieces of it. And if I ever need the word December, that's a great size too, depending on what you wanted. And you can use it in a whole bunch of different ways. Even the border could be used for something. You could do a little bit of that border for a trading card and have something with it. All right. So anyway, enough of my going through dissecting the pattern. All right. Who is the winner? Let me pull out the name. I don't know if it's Andrea or Andrea, but congratulations. You know what? I'm going to put it. So the back of this, I just did felt. If I remember correctly, because I wrote the names this morning, was it you and your daughter that had been at Thistle in Connecticut? I'm not sure. There is a cross-stitch store named called Thistle Needleworks in Connecticut. Last I knew it was in Wethersfield, which is just outside of Hartford, which is around the center of the state. I can't remember though. I could be thinking of somebody else. But anyway, congratulations. If you get back to me, I will send that off to you. Okay, so I'll put that over there. And then this week, we are doing another hands-on design. I pulled out Christmas Eve, White Christmas, Christmas Eve. And I thought this would be a lot of fun. Again, it's a small. It might not be for this year, but that's okay, right? You can always, some people do like Christmas on the 25th, or if you're doing Christmas in July or whatever. And I thought, so you could, it's super cute as an ornament this way, right? Because it's not that big. It's only 34 by 53. But if you wanted something smaller, and I'd be curious to measure it out, it might even work on the Hirschen's tree. What if you just did the church part without doing it on the little tray? I think that would be adorable as an ornament as well. So just another thought. So I'm going to ask you to say the word Eve, E-V-E, as in Christmas Eve. And I will put your name in the bowl, and next time we have a video, I will choose a winner. But you could, and depending on the, if you take it off of that and have it not quite as formally like on that tray, the colors of fabric you could use are endless. You could even do, you know, something like Fabric Flare would have one that looks like it's snowing, or there's the, is it Petite Point? I don't even know what it's called. Those where they have like the dots. So many things you could do with that. So say the word Eve, and you might have a chance to play around with that and see what you want to do. All right, so I'll put that there. Alrighty, that's it. That's the stitching. Whew. Whew. I hope you're getting a lot of stitching done yourself. If you don't want to hear anything life-wise, which should be short anyway, then have a fabulous week. I hope things are going well, and I will see you next time. So life stuff. I had so much to talk about. I ran out of room in my notes. So I barely have the section that just says, finish up the video. Usually if I have room and I have things to talk about, I'll remind myself with life stuff. And I didn't have any room. So I'm like, I don't know what happened. What happened? What happened? What happened? Not much. I had a doctor's appointment yesterday. That was my big excitement. It was beautiful though yesterday. We were able to go out Now it was in the middle of the day and Mo could only get a little bit away from work. So we just walked around the neighborhood, but it was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. It was high 50s. I was thinking how I was laughing because Carla from Carla Being Crafty gives her weather report. And, you know, cold for Southern California, you know, she'd be like, oh yeah, it's in the 60s, you know, low 60s or whatever, sweater weather. And I'd be like, I'd be wearing short, actually in the house I wore short sleeves yesterday because it was warm. When I went outside, I did have a long sleeve top on and I did do like a little vesty thing because the wind was a little bit. But the last day or two, I've been going out without jackets and just this long sleeve shirt. And it's been great. It's been great. If I got into the 60s, I'd be short sleeves and everything. Anyway, I just thought that was funny because, you know, what the concept of the temperature in Southern California is versus here in Delaware. And I just saw I follow a weather person on Facebook. If you are in Southern New England, there's one weather person you have to follow. He is on Facebook. I think it's a he. I'm almost sure. But he also has an app, which is free. And he puts more information on the app than he does on the Facebook now because he's trying to transition. You will never need another weather person. And forget about watching the TV weather. He is spot on all the time. So if you are in Southern New England, let me know if you want somebody who really is spot on with the weather. But I still watch him because a lot of times if there's storms, he may show up through mid-Atlantic. But anyway, I do have somebody that does not quite as much for Delaware, but, you know, at least gives me a little something. And he was just showing a map that the last 2 weeks of December are going to be colder than normal, which I'm really bummed about because I don't really like cold weather. So, and if it rains or has some sort of precipitation, it has much more of a chance of being icy or snowy when the weather is cold. And we have some traveling we might have to do the end of the second half of December. So I need clear roads and clear skies. So no cold weather. Anyway, I guess I can't control Mother Nature. She's not going to listen to me and my requests. So, but yeah, really not a lot. Like I said, last weekend, was it last weekend that we watched the U.S. Men? Or was it Friday? I don't even remember. Tough loss, but you know, there's always 4 years from now, right? We'll see. But yeah, we've been watching bits and pieces of the World Cup. The Aston Villa goalie is the goalie for Argentina, so I know he wants to watch Argentina and Netherlands today because he'd like to see how they do. But other than that, yeah, I'm not really sure. I don't have any specific plans besides maybe finishing some ornaments, and I need to start thinking about plans for 2023. I have a lot to do here in the craft room. If I want to really think about, I want to do that. I want to start to get together everything for a project / whip parade. And I have it in a few different places because I have some that have been kind of put aside over there that are not with the normal parts over there. So I need to kind of get all of that together. And I do want to stitch the little plaid ornament from Georgia Girl. So we'll see. Lots of crafting. Other than that, I have no idea. And if it gets colder, I'm just going to want to hunker down in the house anyway, right? So so that's it. I hope, see, I'm going to come in a little bit shorter because really right now, life is pretty quiet among some of the craziness as we start to figure out plans. So I'll take it. I'll take kind of that combo and so on and so forth. So I'm not going to complain about that at all. That's it. So I hope you're well. I hope you're safe. I hope you got some good stitching in and you've gotten a chance to take care of yourself, whatever that may look like to you, for you. It's important. You are important. So always remember that and take some time for you, whether that's even just stitching time or maybe something extra. It's all good and it's important. You are important. All right. That's it. Until next time, happy stitching.